Welcome to 2 Minutes of Gaming, where we talk about the top video game topics of the month for 2 minutes at a time. I'm your host, Keenan, and today I'm joined by
Justin. How everybody's doing?
Good. A lot of great news to talk about, but as you guys can see, we're going to talk about the top 6 topics. We're starting out today with Persona 5S, a game that we might have bashed on this very show.
Probably, I think we did.
A couple of months ago, but we're here with apologies. The game has been released in Japan. Still no release date on for the US yet, but we both have tried the demo and have seen gameplay of the actual full game as well. Justin, like me, are you here to apologize to Persona 5S, or are you sticking with your guns?
I apologize. I definitely apologize. I thought this game was going to be pointless, but I believe, according to my cousin Ashley, that this is actually taking place after the main game. So That's automatic buy for me. Regardless of what the gameplay was going to be, for story purposes, that's an automatic buy. The gameplay plays very similar to those beat-em-up games, especially remind me a lot of Dynasty Warriors. Just the way we have all these enemies at once. I thought the way we were able to use our personas was a great addition. The way you're just by a push of a button to activate it, and you can switch and get different abilities. I thought that was pretty cool. I love using Joker in this hand-to-hand type of combat. The graphics look gorgeous as always. The music is still on point. It's a very fluid combat system. I am enjoying the hell of it. I'm definitely going to get this. Is a day one purchase for me just on the demo alone.
Dude, day one as well. The demo, I couldn't get enough of it. Again, I severely apologize. I thought this was going to be like a cash-in, like some kind of junk side story. It is pretty much story-wise a direct sequel. I still like the JRPG gameplay better, but because I do feel like this was a little too hack and slash, but I do like how they incorporated a lot of strategy into it, and there's a lot of depth into the gameplay. I'm hoping you need a lot more of that depth later in the game, because in the demo, again, it was just they would throw like 100 guys at once, and I'm not exaggerating, and you would just swipe them down, and then you'll have like a harder person that you had to use some intelligence and some strategy on, but it was just a little too much slashing for me. But overall, I mean, it still has amazing art style. And the thing, Justin, that I'm really impressed on is the fact that you can still walk around a town and do stuff. And that's the key right there. So, really cool. Next topic, Xbox Series X. They've released a ton of news. One of them, pretty much a lot of tech news. Now, we're not big techies, and it doesn't matter either, because they could say that it's going to have, I think they said 12 teraflops. And then we don't even know what PlayStation 4, what it really is going to have. There's been rumors about the tech, but it's irrelevant. The biggest news that I got from this, Justin, and feel free if you want to throw in something else, is they mentioned that it's going to be backwards compatible with the Xbox One, 360, as well as the Xbox original. That is huge news for me, but Justin, is this enough to start to tip the needle for you?
No, not really, because I only owned the Xbox 360, and that was briefly for like 2 months. So I'm not really huge on the Microsoft catalog. And once again, I have a PC, and most of their games are going to be available for PC. So me getting that system is kind of redundant. Doesn't make sense.
Well, is this a good move? How about that?
Huh?
Is this a good move?
I mean, it's a good move for those who still have a physical disc and copies of their games. I noticed some of them would love to play it again. So yeah, I'm all for it. But for me personally, is it enough for me to go get the system? No, it really isn't. But it's nice to see that one company at least is still thinking about that backwards capability. And hey, we want everybody to play our entire library, to go relive those games. So that is actually a plus. I love the fact that they have that, though. It's just not for me. I'm not going to buy it.
Well, here's the thing. I think it's genius. I love it. The main reason why that I switched over to Sony was because the Xbox One originally was not backwards compatible with my 70 Xbox 360 games. Okay, so that really killed me. And eventually they started to create like lists and added, you know, more games to it. But here's the thing. One of the reasons why I enjoyed the PS4 so much was because there was so much, you know, whether it was Last of Us, whether it was Uncharted, there were so many exclusive games that I didn't play as a 360 owner, and, you know, God of War, and I was like hearing you guys talk about it. And then when I got my PS4, those games became part of my life. Now, the same thing is happening on the reverse, right, where Gears 5 and there's some other, not many others, but there's a couple other Xbox One games that I'm like curious about. So I think that is huge because it gives the people that are going to possibly switch a whole new back catalog of games that they wouldn't have enjoyed. So I think it's great.
Isabel.
Tim Sweeney, founder of Epic, maybe a billionaire at this point, but millionaire for sure. He has a ton of money. He mentioned how very controversial comments about how politics do not belong inside of video games. Developers and publishers should stay away. As a developer, I have a lot of mixed feelings, but Justin, I'm going to start with you with this one. What's your thoughts on politics and video games? Do they belong, or should they just go away?
It depends. Politics should only be in video games if it's relevant to the story.
Okay.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel about any type of form of medium. That's not just video games. If it's not relevant to the story, if you're just trying to push your ideology or your left or your right, I don't care. If it's harboring, if it's hurting the story, if it's hurting the gameplay, there's no reason for it. If you want to do something political, be an activist, do actual work, be a foot soldier, be actually out there doing activist work instead of being a keyboard warrior. That's all I'm going to say about that part. At the same time, if it's something relevant to a story, who are you to tell a creator not to inject politics if it's relevant to the story or the message that the characters or something that they're trying to get across? I know it kind of sounds hypocritical right there or kind of conflicting, but at the same time, like I said, if it's for the story, yes. If it's relevant for the story, yes. But if you're just putting it in there just to put it in there for your little points, like, hey, look at me, we're doing this. No, then keep it out of the games.
I'm with you on both sides in the sense of, I think if you're a developer, a small developer, I think that it's okay. Because here's the thing. We do this as a form of expression, right? It's art, right? So you may have an expression that may have something to do with a president or may have something to do with a political party, and that's okay. But I think when you start to get on a bigger scale, when you have 100 developers on one team, 300 developers on one team, while the creative leads might be Democrat, Republican, or pro-choice or pro-life, etc., you know, there may be 200 other people on that team that are not. So I think it's very selfish for the creative leads to articulate their beliefs while the others can't. So small teams, yes. Big teams, no.
And one more thing before we go to the next topic. Also, there's a reason why he's probably saying this too, is because it's hurting sales. You alienate an audience when you show your political side. That's why most artists keep things neutral and they don't let people know what they really feel about sensitive topics. That's it.
Very, very much so. Totally agree. One of my favorite games of all time, Mario 3 turns 30 this month. It turned 30 this month. 30th year anniversary. Justin, what are some memories that you have? I know you were a little younger. For Mario 3 and just this era of platforming. What's your thoughts on this?
Well, for me, like by the time Mario 3 came out, I think we were already off the Nintendo already.
I mean, go ahead.
I think it came out, what, 91, 92? 90, right?
90.
Oh, we were already on Sega Genesis by then. So we we didn't really play Mario 3. I didn't get to play Mario 3 actually till Super Mario All-Stars came out. And that's when I really, because everybody was like, dude, the raccoon and the new pickups, you got to check it out. So, you know, I remember I did a Super Mario World vs. 3, And I like World better, but when I went back to play 3, I realized how brilliant 3 really is, and I can see why everyone calls it the greatest Mario game ever made. It's a brilliant, just from the level designs to the production, everything. It still holds up to this day, whether you're playing the All Stars version or the original version. In just 30 years, man, we are old.
Yeah.
Man.
Bad. You know, people may not agree. Leave it in the comments. Justin, I think this is the best game ever created. Ever.
That's saying a lot.
Now, let me tell you why. And obviously that's an objective statement. But when you look at what was around at that time, and I'm gonna go overtime on this, I'm gonna tell you right now. Coming from Mario 1, which is very great, but it was simple. And then Mario 2, we know the controversy, what happened with America versus Japan, US not getting the right version. The leap from 1 and 2 to 3, unbelievable, unprecedented, especially for that time. And then it changed the way we play games, Justin. There was not any or any big games that had an open world map like that. I mean, every game we played at that time was very linear. It was like go here to there, and you had like Zelda and a couple other games that kind of gave you like a little world. But for the most part, Justin, this game here, and the crazy thing is, it still holds up to this day. And I actually still play it, believe it or not, Justin. I played it a couple months back. Mario 3 is a game that I have to go back every couple years and beat it. And I'm not talking about taking a whistle and going from 1 to 8. I'm talking about playing each stage, each level, each world. So,
well, you know that's how I am with Final Fantasy 7. So,
dude,
play it every year.
Here's the difference. This isn't my favorite game. I just think it's the best. So that's the thing there. But Justin, I totally get you. I totally get it. February, Black History Month. We're finishing it up, and I just wanted to take a moment to spotlight Black excellence, Black greatness, and gaming greatness as well. Jerry Lawson. For those who don't know, Jerry Lawson is the creator, the innovator of the actual cartridge, which is amazing. Prior to Jerry Lawson's creation, the game, and this was in the 70s, by the way, people, the gaming systems had the games already on them. So if you wanted a new game, you had to get a whole new console. It was crazy. He's the one that actually created what we knew for almost 20 years, and even now, as far as like having a portable disc. He did this with the Fairchild Channel F, which came out in the 70s. So Justin, what's your thoughts on this? And does he get the respect that he deserved?
I'm actually just hearing about this today, so clearly he's not getting the respect and recognition he deserves. Yeah. And so you're trying to tell me, so it's the brothers responsible for why we had to go with our Sega cartridges and Nintendo games the entire time? That's pretty cool.
Take the negative, but yeah.
That's pretty cool. It just shows you how much we have contribute to society and how much unsung we really are. On that point, especially in the gaming world. I mean, I know there's so many African Americans who do things and invent things, and innovate things, and credit is still not due for us. And for him, respect. I mean, that's pretty innovative, because could you imagine buying a PS4 every time you wanted a new game? That would be hell. Or Sega Genesis, every time you wanted a new game, that'd be hell.
But that's the thing. I think gaming wouldn't be where it's at today if it wasn't for him. I think gaming would have just started to take off around this time, because we have digital now. So the fact that he was able to figure out how to put all this data into one spot, and who knows, maybe somebody else would have, who knows, but maybe not. Gaming would have never taken off after 1983 when Nintendo came in with the NES and saved the industry. If we had to buy a new NES, my grandmother would have been like, no, you're not getting a new game. Like, you play the games that you have on that system. And the Sega Genesis would have came out, and it would have been the same thing. We would have got it, but it would have been like, we would have had 5 games on there, 10 games, and we would have had to play those games for years and then beg our family to buy a new system. it wouldn't have worked. We would have just said, forget it, I'm going to do something else. And then gaming would have finally came back during the digital era in the late 2000s. So, dude, he's everything, man. Last but not least, we're having a little video game drought. Not a lot of big releases until next month with Animal Crossing. And then April is when we have the two heavy hitters, Final Fantasy VII Remake and Resident Evil 3 Remake. But Justin, what are you playing now to hold you down while we wait for these amazing games and amazing releases?
Right now I am continuing my Resident Evil chronological journey. So I beat 0 last month. So now I'm on Resident Evil, the original Resident Evil, the GameCube remake that is. I'm on Krista's story, and then I'm gonna do Jill's story, and I'm play Jill's story in March to lead up to the first half of Resident Evil 3, because we all know the first half of 3 takes place before 2, and then I'm gonna stop 3 and then finish 2 and then go back to 3. And I'm also playing still Dragon Ball Z Kakarot as well.
Nice.
But I haven't really been gaming as much. Oh, one more. The original Final Fantasy VII I'm playing as well.
Getting ready. Don't spoil the story, man, for the new one. No.
Oh yeah, of course not.
But yeah, so for me, I've been doing a lot more gaming now, trying to get rid of that backlog. I actually been deleting a lot of games. I downloaded, for those who don't know, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen it, they had the Division 2 for $3 on sale. So everyone went crazy, bought it. Was not feeling that game, Justin. Was not feeling it. I was excited for it at first, but it just showed me that Ubisoft, all their games are kind of the same. My biggest complaint with that game was, Justin, that the shooting in that game was the same shooting in Watch Dogs 2. Like, those are two different games. They should not have the same, gameplay. Should not feel the same. So I was very disappointed. But one game that I am playing and I'm actually enjoying, and I actually hope I'll get the chance to play it later today, is Shenmue 3. I finally got it. Another game on sale. I'm happy with it, but overall I'm very sad and disappointed because Yu Suzuki has shown me that he has not been playing any other games in a while. That game, while it's a direct sequel and we want it to be a direct sequel, it feels like it was made for the Dreamcast. Graphics aren't that good. They're okay. But the UI, I mean, for instance, just like you would think if you want to pause the game, you press options button, right? Or start or whatever. No. If you want to pause the game, you press R1. If you want to run, you have to hold, I think it's R2, but he doesn't even use the L3 running thing, which is, fine. If you press triangle, which is really weird, it's like the button configuration screen comes up, which is really weird. And then square is, if you press square, then the book comes up, the journal. So I literally have to think what button to press to do certain things. For instance, let's say you're having a dialogue with somebody and they just talking about stupid stuff and you just I'm just gonna skip this, right? In 99% of games, you just press X over and over and over and skip it, right?
Yeah.
Now, not in this game. You have to press square, and then when it's your turn to talk, you have to press X. And when it's their turn to talk, you press square. And then when it's your turn to talk, you press X. Just to skip a conversation. It's a lot of little stupid stuff like that that really bothers me. But overall, the story is great. It's written really well. Pacing, I know people don't like the pacing. I like the pacing. But again, beware. It's only for Shenmue fans. If you don't like Shenmue 1 and 2 and you're not a fanatic, don't buy this game.
Yeah, I think Shenmue would have been better if they had the Arkham fighting style, though. At this point, the free flow combat.
Well, yeah, it would have been, but this is not even. That's the least of his concerns at this point. The fights. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Before we go, Justin, any last words?
Yes. Go visit us at otakusandgeeks.com. I just finished covering Toy Fair, so if you want to see all the latest toys from Konami's Yu-Gi-Oh! some cool anime stuff, some figurines from Bandai and stuff like that, head over there for all the coverage.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate your time. Gave you a quick episode today.
It is.